All right. Hello, hello, hello. Come on in the house, everybody. Welcome to Love Coach Sessions Live. I'm your man, KTJ, and this is Love Coach Sessions Live. Thank you guys for joining me. It's going to be a great show. If this is your first time joining, please hit that subscribe button and then hit the bell so you don't miss anything in the future. And we've got a lot of shows left in us. We've got a lot to come, a lot going on in the future. So we want you guys to be a part of everything we got happening. And we got a lot happening too. So hold on one sec. Okay. So you guys, we got a good topic today. We're talking about 5 questions you must ask before you get into a relationship. Before you say yes to a relationship, there's 5 questions you must ask. All right. And if you guys are feeling this, I want to hear you guys jump into the live stream. We got a live stream going on. We got the chat box happening. Please pop in the chat box and say hello. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're feeling what we got going on. And that's going to be pretty awesome. So if you guys, this is your first time coming through, I'm KTJ. I am a dating and relationship coach. My background is in working with men. Many years ago, I spent time for most of my career. I've spent time working with males. Work with men from the social work background. Work with males from all sorts of arenas. Right. I can remember a time when I was commissioned, you could say, to work with an emotionally disturbed boy, right? And I did a one-on-ones with him in his classroom. I worked in the school one time, and he was so kind of emotionally disturbed. He couldn't sit still in class, right? He would interrupt the class for other people. He was about, let's say, maybe like second or third grade. And he couldn't sit still. This boy could not sit still for a minute. He was always into something. He would be harassing the teacher. He'd be helping somebody else. He'd be doing, his hands were always busy, always moving around, right? And so they called me in to essentially help him to stay seated in his classroom, to stay in his place, and to get his job done. Well, I had no idea that I would be doing more of that. And I even do that even now, right? I don't sit with people because they're emotionally disturbed, but I sit with people because their love life is disturbed. I sit with people now because they're emotionally disturbed because of past events, right? They're disturbed because they are romantically disturbed. You need to come up with a new one. RD, romantically disturbed. When you've gone through a relationship and you guys maybe had you guys were like went at each other, 2 people going at each other, right? You doing something and calling the cops, and there's domestic violence, and she's punching him and he's kicking her, and it's so crazy and everything's going on there. Hold on, I feel another sneeze. Excuse me. I've never sneezed on camera before. All right, y'all, give me a second. Let me. Okay, suddenly I got on camera and got the sneezies. Okay, but after people have been through traumatic situations, traumatic and dramatic, right? They need someone to sit with them, They need somebody to help them process what happened. You know, they need somebody to help them to see what happened in a different light. And that's what we do here. That's the work I do as I work with them. So, and so even a topic like this today, right? 5 questions you must ask before you get into a relationship. Listen, this is important, right? Because the questions you ask in the beginning will help you to see how this pans out in the end. Okay. Listen, there are many questions that were not asked in the beginning that have caused a lot of problems all the way to the end. Certain questions that if a person knew these questions, look, let's be honest. Think about maybe your past relationship, right? Maybe there's some questions that you didn't ask that landed you in a certain position just because you did not ask the right questions. So I got 5 here today. Now you guys know there's a lot of questions that a person should ask, but what I've discovered is that sometimes these relationships don't go well because people didn't ask the question. We talk about I encourage people to go to a premarital counseling, right? You should never get married to anybody unless you've had thorough premarital counseling, right? What's that all about? Premarital counseling is about one thing: getting to the truth. Now you might say, "Oh, I know that person already. I know what they're capable of," right? But let me tell you something. You don't know what they're capable of because everybody plays nice in the beginning, right? But you get a real counselor. Now I'm not listen, I'm a proponent of pastoral counseling. I love pastors, right? Grew up in a pastor's family my whole life, right? But understand this, unless the pastor is really thoroughly versed in counseling and the techniques of counseling, preferably has a degree, okay, they may not be the best person to do the premarital counseling. Most of the people I know who got premarital counseling, it was a formality talking about the wedding and then on to how the wedding was going to go, right? Working on the wedding and not on the marriage. And many of those people are not married today because they worked on the wedding and not on the marriage. All right. So I encourage premarital counseling where all of these questions should come up. I remember I often talk about when I was going to get married one time to a young lady. We were on our way, right? She was a sweet girl, and I thought, jolly geet, golly gee, this is going to work out great. And we went and had set up some sessions with her pastor, and we sat with her pastor, and after like the 3rd session, we looked at each other and said, you know what? This is not going to work. You think like that? You think like that? Right? And once we discovered that we don't think in alignment, we had a problem. Right? Now, if that pastor had been all about getting to the wedding, we would have just gone on and then discovered down the road that this was not a good fit. Okay? So this is why, like, you can't play around with this. So if I encourage you, if you're serious about somebody and you're going to really make something happen, get premarital counseling and get somebody who's going to do a thorough job doing it. All right. So let's jump into these 5 questions, you guys. Let's get it on. 5 questions, and I want to hear you guys jump in the chat box. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me hear if you find that this is valuable. I want you guys to sound off on this. All right. Let me know that you find this valuable. 5 questions. All right, here we go. Question number 1. What piece of advice? I lost my question. Okay. question number one, what is your love language? Now let's get into that. Love language. You guys know the 5 love languages. Uh, Gifts. What's it? Acts of service. Gifts. Touch. All of the 5 love languages. I can't call them all right now, right? But if you've never heard of it, get the book, 5 love languages, right? Where we talk about the 5 love languages is literally about understanding how your partner receives love. Okay. There's one person that maybe their love language is gifts. If a person grew up as a kid and never received gifts, right? Maybe as an adult, maybe that young lady, let's say a young lady never received loving attention from gifts. Christmas came and there was nothing. Birthday came and it was no big deal. Easter came, nothing. Like there's never any celebration for anything. Well, that child might grow up and have gifts as being their love language. How they feel like someone loves them, they give to them, right? Another one might be touch, right? It might be when you touch them, they feel loved. If you don't touch them, they don't feel loved. All right. So love language. Listen, love language is an important one to have the conversation about because, how else can you get to know what a person needs, what a person wants, what's going to be right for the person? How else can that person understand what's really going on? Love language. All right. Number 2, a good question to ask before you get into a relationship. Number 2, what piece of advice would you give your younger self? Okay. So this is a reflective question, right? You want to have them reflect on their past. What question, what piece of advice would you give your younger self? So it gives them a chance to kind of think about their life, think about their behavior, and contextualize it for you. Okay. You'll learn a lot about a person as they talk about maybe the mistakes that they've made, because that's really what they're asking, right? What positive or negative, right? But what mistakes did you make in your past? That's what that question is. What piece of advice would you give to your younger self? All right. Number 3, how do you communicate when you are upset or disappointed? This is a good question. How do you communicate when you are upset or disappointed? A lot of people get upset when they have they show anger and they show rage. And I can't believe you did that, right? What's really going on is the anger is the mask for hurt on the other side. They can't say, I can't believe you hurt me this way. I can't believe you hurt my heart this deep, right? Can't say that. But they can say, I can't believe you. I hate you. Somebody tell you they hate you. Guess what? A person can hate you, and it's a thin line between love and hate. Hate is an emotion, right? The opposite of hate is love is actually not caring at all. The opposite of the worst thing. Like we would think that the worst thing is hate. Opposite of love is hate. That might be true, but what's worse than hate is a person that flat out don't care. Okay? So you need to understand how a person communicates when they are disappointed, right? Because there are some people who clam up and they don't say a word. There are people who just like they just clam up. They just go and their disappointment language is, I don't talk when I'm mad, right? So that person could be sitting there mad and you don't even know that they're mad because you didn't understand what their communication style was when they were disappointed. But this is a question that you should ask to get to know a person and understand how they communicate when they're upset. Okay, there are some people who got to kick a wall. And as I coached men, and I had to talk to men about their anger issues, right? I would tell them this, and you guys can hold on to this little piece, right? You can't be angry and tired at the same time. You can't be angry and tired at the same time. Okay? A person is going to have to pick one. So I would tell the men, as I talk with men about this, I would say, listen, here's what you do, bro. When you get mad, let's say you with your woman, she did something, she made you mad, she made you angry, instead of punching her, instead of putting your fist through the wall, go for a run. Tell her, I'll be right back. I'm upset and I need to get this off me, right? Put your shoes on, lace them up, and go run around the block. And as you put you expel your energy, you begin to feel better. You begin to lose all of that steam. They say blow off some steam. Do it. Drop down, do some push-ups. Push up yourself into exhaustion. Right? Do some jumping jacks if you can't get out. But you've got to get the emotions out of you so that you can deal with yourself. So, but you need to know about that, and I think that's important for you to understand about the person who's coming into your life. Number 4. The fourth question that you must ask before you get in a relationship. Number 4 is, where do you most likely see yourself 5 to 10 years from today? Where do you most likely see yourself 5 or 10 years from today? What's the question that's being asked? This is the question I always say, you guys. Do our futures match? Do our futures align? Are we going in the same direction? Okay? Listen, you should not be getting in a relationship with someone whose future doesn't match yours. Okay? Spiritually, do your futures match? Okay? Do you plan to be a person who goes to church? Is God in your life important and will be important in the future? Okay? You need to ask this. How about careers? What do you hope for? Are you hoping to be an entrepreneur? Are you hoping to be a career person in medicine? Are you hoping to be a lawyer? Like, what are you hoping to do? Because we need to find out if our futures match. All right? 5 to 10 years from now. Because trust me, 10 years from today, you're going to be different. You're going to be thinking different. Your perspective will be different. But there'll be some things that if you know who you are and know where you're going, it'll be a good match for you in the future. All right. Number 5. Got to number 5 quick tonight. Number 5. What's the most important thing in your life? Good question. What's the most important thing in your life? Now, you could make that / most important person, most important. What's the hierarchy of things that are important? For some people, their hierarchy is God, family, business or career, children or children under there, and then business, whatever the order is, right? Why do you need to know that? You need to know that because this is about his priority. This is about her priorities, right? And it tells you what is important to them. Because trust me, there are some people that their job is the most important thing. To some other people, their hobby is the most important thing in their life. I imagine there's some guys out there who PlayStation 5 is the most important thing in their life. They value that higher than the people. Okay? So in order to not get stuck in one of these situations, you need to ask the question, what is the most important thing in your life? Because that will tell you where the person's priorities lie. And the thing you want to know is what is in a person's life and what is the priorities of that person's life. You want to know what the priorities are, because if their priorities are out of whack, it could cause everything to collapse. Do not agree to be in a relationship with somebody if you don't know their priorities, because you might be last on their priority list. And if you had known that before, you would have made different decisions for the future. All right. So take it, you guys. Take this. Look, I want you guys to hit share on this. Right. Share this video with somebody. There's somebody in your life that needs to hear this, who needs to receive this message and needs to take this in and apply it to their lives. All right. All right, you guys, look, I need you guys to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell, hit the like button before you get out of here. The program is done. I need to look over it. My contractor finished it, but I didn't get a chance to look over it before I dropped the link, but I will be dropping the link soon. I'm sorry it's late, but better late than never. We're working on it and it's going to be awesome. So, all right, you guys, till next time, peace and love. Bye.